What's going on, guys? Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the Creators Fuel. This week we're sitting down with the Electric Empire team. This is Jake Morgan and Dante Belmonte. How are you guys?
Doing pretty well.
How are you,
Stoked to be
Rob?
here.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you guys for joining me. So you guys are an EDM touring company out of Syracuse, New York, correct?
That is correct.
Awesome. So what's your guys' story? We'll start with you, Dante. Were you surrounded by entrepreneurship and music and creativity in your youth, or did you come on that yourself?
A lot of my friends have always kind of all around me. They've either had music in their background or like an entrepreneurship. Like we've all kind of started our own things with all of our friends. We're all kind of be our own boss concept. Jake over here to my right, he has his own landscape business, extremely successful. It's like an entrepreneurship. My other buddy owns a graphic design company that he started himself, and then you yourself, close friend of mine, also started a clothing brand. So it's kind of like we always were surrounded with that, our life of people being entrepreneurs and having a talent to use and not just kind of working a 9-to-5 job.
Cool. So it was your friends that you were surrounded by that all had that sort of entrepreneurial mindset rather than your family in a way?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, my dad does real estate, so it's not like a complete office job. There is an entrepreneurship there because you have to do a lot of your own thing there.
Okay. What about you, Jake?
Well, like my whole lifetime, I've been surrounded with entrepreneurship. My dad owns a construction business, and he has ever since I've been born. And so he's instilled a lot of values into me with hardworking, just making sure you can do the best you can do. My mom had her own practice. She's a CPA, which is a certified public accountant.
Okay.
So she's had her own business, and I've just been surrounded with that type of thing my whole life pretty much. And, just the importance of getting an education and learning how you can excel in your industry.
Yeah, one of the biggest things I've seen trending between young adults actually trying to do something for themselves is that they come in contact with the entrepreneur stuff early on in their life. So that's why I asked that question. It seems almost everybody has a yes answer to we've, been surrounded by it. So how'd you guys meet?
We actually went to church together. We started going to church at Abundant Life Christian Center. How many years ago would you say? I mean, you've been going there forever. I started going there when I was probably in like third grade, second grade, maybe.
Forever ago.
So you guys have known each other for forever.
I mean, I lived in Utica when I met him and like all the other guys. I moved to Syracuse 4 years ago when I was my freshman year in high school, so 4 or 5 years ago. And that's kind of how Jake and I met. And then Joe, the third partner, couldn't be here today. We kind of met him through mutual friends at church, really.
Yeah, we met him through mutual friends. It just went from there.
Very cool. So how do you guys, some partnerships suck, some are really good, but how do you guys, make sure that work's divided well and sort of that you find the line between business and friendship? Because I've found that that's really hard. Personally, I found that it's very difficult for me to draw that line. It's always a gray area. Is it more black and white for you guys, or is it gray as well?
Well, first of all, you have to keep things separate. You have to make sure if you guys are hanging out, you have to make sure if you're hanging out with friends or you're hanging out for business purposes. You always have to make that clear distinction.
I mean, we have fun in both.
Yeah,
like
we have fun in
business
both.
too.
Yeah, we mess around, and but when we're there to get stuff done, we gotta get it done. And you just have to. It's tough to keep friendship and business separate. I mean, but you're together with your friends, so how easy can that be? But you always have to just make sure you're respectful of each other, and tempers might flare like they always will.
Most definitely.
You have money involved, so it's gonna happen. But you just have to remember, at the end of it, you're friends over business, and you just gotta take care of each other.
And I'd say like Jake and I have more of a closer relationship than like Jake and Joe or myself and Joe. Mm-hmm. We've been friends longer, so it's more like a brother relationship. So we argue a lot. We do, like, whether it's business or just friends, like, we'll argue a little bit, but we always come to an agreement, and like at the end of the day it always works out, and we never leave on a bad note.
So you guys are like super honest with each other. You just you have to be, correct?
Yeah, you have to be.
Yeah.
You have to be honest.
There's nothing you can really hide because it's in the numbers too. Numbers don't lie.
Yeah, numbers never lie. So now you guys have known each other for a while. You're good friends, brothers almost. What led to you guys starting a touring company? What I mean, it doesn't just come up. Did it come up in conversation, or how did that happen?
Well, we were kind of, me being an entrepreneur, I have my own business, and I was just trying to figure out something how I could involve Dante with something. So I was just thinking and thinking.
Thanks. Yeah.
Let's just throw him in the mix.
I was just thinking and thinking. I was like, what can I do with Dante? And then the next day, he comes to me and says, Jake, I have a great idea. And then it kind of goes from there.
Well, I didn't know what electric dance music EDM was like a year and a half ago, and that's when I first started. I first started DJing and everything, and I really got like a handle on it. And like the way Jake and I kind of went about things, we were very professional, and it was like we stand out from everyone else. So I was like, what if instead of like me just like focusing on trying to be an artist, we focus on like a company, and we like focus on other artists, and we like travel around, meet different people, make friends, and of course make money on the way.
Yeah.
And start a new business with that. And then our good friend Joe Rinelli, he's an accountant for a plastic company, so he kind of takes over that end of things with Jake as well. And we kind of, all three of us, we've been learning from each other, and that's kind of how we like started the business. We wanted to do something different. And I mean, how many people do you know start a touring concert company that travels all over the place with famous artists who play main stages in front of 30,000 people? You know.
Not many, plus not many at your guys' age, which is even more awesome. So that's awesome. So you guys obviously divide powers. Obviously you're more business, Jake, and you're more promotion and acts, correct? Because you were doing music previous to the whole touring thing.
Correct. Yes.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah, Dante sort of runs the Dante's sort of the face, I would say. He runs all the social media because that's what he's good at. He does his music. It's because what he's good at. But
Your social media presence is huge.
yeah,
Yes, thank you.
It's pretty wild, to be honest with you.
Thank you.
and so me and Joe are kind of there for
They're really like the behind the scene
direction,
guys.
Behind the scenes, yeah.
I mean, Joe, when we're in a different city, like for Buffalo, for example, we had an artist from LA fly in. Like, Joe was in charge of kind of driving him around. It's called ground transportation. Jake was kind of like overseeing the entire event. He was taking care of the rider, which means like everything the artist wants is provided. Alcohol, beverages, food. Like, so when they get there, it was kind of like all three of us were running around doing our thing, and I was kind of setting up the stage, getting the acts together. I mean, so we all have our different jobs, and we honestly couldn't do it without each other because it's physically impossible to do everything as one person.
So you think then the way you guys structured it so far, you believe that was like the best way to do it? You're happy with how it's going? You think the three-way partnership works? Because there's a lot of people out there. Me personally, taking entrepreneurship classes, we're almost taught that business partnerships don't work.
Mm-hmm.
They quite literally point that out to you. So to see that it is working and with friends is,
Oh, there's no other way.
okay, yeah, awesome.
I mean, we're probably gonna need more help as we get bigger, just because there's more to do, and we, like, day of show, it's not that big of a problem, but show day, that's when we're gonna need the help. Stage hands, ground transportation, rider specialty, all that different stuff, ticket distribution. We're gonna need that help.
It's all like what you're talking about with the partnership. It's all pretty much a learning experience. You have to play off each other's strengths. You have to know each other's weaknesses, and you have to respect each other. And if you don't, things will get hot-tempered, and
Yeah,
the business
yeah.
forces say it will not work out well.
Yeah. So how do you guys go about, obviously being young adults, how do you guys go about booking these huge names? How does something like that, happen? It seems kind of impractical that you just go, we just booked, Botnick or whoever.
You have to
it
be
may be.
respectful and professional.
Yeah,
definitely.
so that's kind of, I've like researched the market for booking artists, and you can get just totally taken advantage of. You put in an offer for like $10,000, and they know the artist is only worth $3,000, and they just made an extra $7,000 on you, and it's just embarrassing, and you won't know it until later. You kind of have to know where the market is, know what the artist is like, where they're from, what their tour dates are like, to get that number out. And then you have to put in a formal booking offer as like a form we send to each artist agency, because there's like a fine line. It's like the agency, the owner, then it goes down to his assistant, and then it goes down to the manager, and then it gets to the artist. And so basically like how we get an artist, like we have a really special one from Europe coming soon. We're going to announce that soon. I kind of looked at the artists, kind of found out what people in the area liked, of what city we were going to, and then I heard this name come up numerous times. So I put in an offer, and then it was kind of like back and forth between numbers, and then we kind of met at like a happy medium, the manager and I, the booking agent, and then so now it's kind of just figuring out which date the artist is available, because he has to fly over from Europe, so it's not like a drive around the corner. It's drive around the other end of the world. And so then you have to get that contract, and then kind of agree on other fine linings of if you're doing hotel, ground transportation, their flight, all different things like that. But I mean, it works out, and once it's set in stone, it's really easy from there.
Cool. All right. And in something like that where you're having somebody come from the other side of the world, just so people can get a grasp on what you have to do, are you guys paying for his travel fees, all that sort of stuff to keep him in town, and then the show and all that sort of stuff, or can you not talk on that?
Yeah, we can. It's usually built into the deal. So in like the offer I send, there's a part that says what's included in the offer and what's not. What's included in the offer, meaning the whatever amount I offer, is usually included in their visas, passports, flights. I try to throw the hotel in there, but usually every single deal it gets ended up taking out, so we have to pay a flat fee, and then we pay for their hotel room for the night, and then we take care of all their ground transportation, and then whatever food, drinks, alcohol they want provided at the show, and what they need to perform. So I mean, like mainly travel like plane to get here. That's always in the offer. Very rarely do you ever have to pay for it. I've never had to.
Okay. Now, how do you guys stay ahead in music in the industry when it's always changing? Everything's different every day. How do you guys manage to stay ahead?
I don't know. Jake always has, when we're in the car, he always has this like playlist playing of like the most popular songs. And I'm like, every day I ask the same question: where do you find those? Where do you keep finding those songs? And he always tells me the same answer, but I can never like seem to find them. So Jake, he knows a lot of the popular artists. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I seem to find a lot of the popular songs. You have to stay up with the current playlists. You have to know. Like Apple Music is great.
I'm too lazy to do it.
SoundCloud's also great. SoundCloud, you'll find a lot of like the deeper like unknown stuff that can actually be pretty good sometimes. But I like to stay up on the current, like popular songs. You know what I mean?
So you're just trying to find what's popping off.
Yeah.
And
And it's hard because some of those artists that are super popular, we can't afford.
Yeah.
Those numbers are through the roof. One
Where's
day
Drake
we want
at?
to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's Drake? No,
Oh,
I'm kidding.
jeez. Yeah, that's a number I don't even want to think
Yeah.
about.
Hey, man. So what's up next then? What's the next move? Where are you guys going? I know you just said you got an announcement soon for a European artist, but other than that, you guys just going to continue to grow, keep booking shows, that sort of stuff?
Yeah, we just announced Albany with actually it's a smaller show, so it's like a Rochester person, like a Rochester artist.
Okay.
And then we just announced Buffalo, or no, Albany was the more local artist. Rochester we just announced too. It's a new location. That's an artist, like a dubstep drum and bass artist from LA called Dubloads. He's pretty big. He's getting bigger. He's going on tour with Excision, who's like they're hitting like 50 cities, I think, or something like that.
Okay.
Then we're about to announce 3 more cities that we're working on.
Wow.
We're starting to get out of state for one of them because we want to, we don't want to be spread too wide. We want to dominate one area
Yeah.
and work our way around. And so like this next city, we've had a lot of people ask us to come to the city and put in like promotion offers for it. So we're thinking about going there. We're talking about it. We're trying to get a venue there for a good price too, and then we know the artist that we want to put in there. So we can't say anything yet, but it'll be pretty cool.
Yeah,
Dope.
it's really all about the market. You have to go where you're wanted. You have to tailor your marketable skills where it's needed. That's pretty much where
Where it's
where
demanded.
business comes in.
Supply and demand.
Yeah, supply and demand. Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. So just thinking about this, how do you guys I see your stuff everywhere, and I don't go on social media that much, but I still end up seeing, Electric Empire all over every social media. How do you have a marketing strategy, or is it just like, you obviously have a large following. Do you guys just post it up and let it grow from there organically?
Yeah, I mean, we have the website. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud, because we just started our own like weekly podcast. But like hashtags is actually a big one, believe it or not. Like,
Really?
If you put hashtags underneath it, you'll get like, we average like probably 120 more likes per photo because of hashtags.
Jeez.
Sponsored posts, that's a huge one. So like paid posts on Instagram and Facebook, because what it does is people that don't know you, they're obviously not going to see your stuff unless you push it towards them. So if you put a paid ad up, it's going to push it into their feed, and that's kind of where they start seeing everything. That's where we like grew everything over time, and that's how you're starting to see it. I mean, I
Yeah.
know you say you don't go on social media, but you're going to see it everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're business majors. We're not marketing majors. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So our we don't really have a marketing plan.
Yeah.
We just sort of know what works for us, and which is the big one is Facebook. Facebook is such a powerful tool that if you're not on it, you should be.
Like people say like, oh, parents are taking it over, like kids don't use it that much. That's a lie. Like one of our trailers for one of our shows had over 30,000 views.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Because of the sponsored ads and stuff like that.
Sponsored ads and paid ads through Facebook are huge. You
Yeah.
need to be on Facebook. You need to be on all social
I
media.
mean, you know that for your landscaping, right? You've
Yep.
done a few on there.
Yep. Our landscaping company is on all social media, and it really helps out.
That's the one thing I know suburban markets, and that's the one thing we actually pay for is Facebook ads, because
Yeah.
that's
I
the
mean,
one thing we still
I'd say
get
Facebook
feedback on.
first, then paid ads on Instagram can help. They're still getting a grasp on things because Instagram's owned by Facebook, so they're still getting a grasp on the paid ads. But like Twitter, still haven't figured out how to put paid ads on there. I've like done a bunch of research. I think you have to be like a verified account or something, but we're working
Okay.
on it.
Cool. I can't wait to see Electric Empire on my feed. So finishing up here, what are the biggest challenges getting started? If we're talking to the younger kids listening, and they're like, oh, I want to be a touring artist, I want to start a touring company, all these sort of things. What were challenges that you didn't expect or never thought of originally?
Oh geez, I mean,
Oh wow.
money is a big one.
Yeah,
you
money.
need money to make money.
Yeah.
Capital.
Yeah, you need capital. You also need someone who knows the industry. Period.
You go in blind, you're screwed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you need someone who knows, and that's what Dante sort of did for us. He introduced it a lot more to me and Joe, and as he did that, we sort of picked up, and we were able to just do your own research, figure out what you need to do, figure out what the market calls for. You just need to do research. That's really what it's about.
Yeah, and we have like a formula now we use for each show to make sure that things run properly attendance wise. Because if you put an artist in a city who's not wanted or a city that's not populated, you're not going to do too good. And yeah, I mean, probably one of the best ones, Buffalo. It's very populated. I personally call it, besides New York City, the capital of EDM for New York.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, Syracuse is just crap for the market. Albany's not terrible. I'd say, like, ranking-wise, it goes Buffalo, Rochester, and then Albany. I mean, Syracuse is down on that list.
Really?
I've seen shows in the area that have huge artists, like number one DJ in the world, Hardwell, came to Syracuse and only sold 1,500 tickets when he goes to any other city and he sells out like a 10,000 capacity venue in 5 minutes online. It goes to show. I mean, when you had like at the Westcott Theater, another venue around here, you had three huge artists like Carnage, Valentino Khan, and Keizo, who were three artists that are everywhere. Carnage has like 600,000 followers on all of his social medias, and they only sold like 500 tickets. Like, that tells you something right there.
Yeah.
And then when he goes to Albany and sells 1,500, there you go.
Yeah, you need to be smart. You need to be smart about where you go, and you have to have procedures in place. It can't be random each time. You have to have procedures.
Okay. So you're also looking at trends of other artists and seeing if this didn't do good here, we're just not gonna even.
Yeah, I mean, if like they have a bigger artist and it does bad, why would our smaller artist and like not as well known company do
better? Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, like, probably one of the biggest things that does well for attendance for shows is like hard copies and like promoters on the ground, street teams.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing.
That makes a huge difference.
You need a promotional team. You need guys who will go out there and sell hard copy tickets, get the name out, get the word out that, there's going to be an awesome show coming. We have some sick artists who are coming to play. So,
I mean, like, I'd say 40% is hard copies and people on the ground that get the word out. 20% is like online, and then like for sales. I mean, I'd say 30% actually, and then like another 30ish and like up to that 100% would be at the door.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of people are coming at the door last second. They're just on the streets, coming out of like a bar or something. They'll go in. Believe it or not, that's like the nerve-wracking part when you're sitting there waiting for like the place to fill up. And like for example, like Buffalo again, that was a huge show for us. It was like a 4-story venue. And we were kind of like in the VIP room, and it's glass that you can look out and see like the whole show. And like we're looking at the floor, and we're like, oh geez, it's looking kind of thin.
yeah, and
like,
you got me just like pacing around.
yeah, in the
Going
VIP room, the
crazy.
green room. And then by the end of the night, you like look down and like 2 floors are completely full,
full.
and everyone's rocking out, and you're just
That's
like,
like the
"Alright,
best
yeah."
feeling when
That
you can
yeah,
when you can produce something that everyone loves and everyone wants to go to.
it's like we did this.
Yeah,
this
we-
was
yeah.
us.
You guys are basically just throwing huge parties.
Yeah.
Yeah,
essentially.
for the most very professional and
Very-
legal
yeah,
in every
yeah.
stance we can make it.
Yeah. That's
So-
basically what we're doing, is throwing huge parties.
People love it.
So now I heard you just say, like, you know, what makes us believe that if there was a huge artist with a huge touring company that brought something to Syracuse and it didn't do well, why would a small company with a smaller artist do any better? And I think that's really, you got to have a really humble sort of mentality to believe that, so you don't, you know, go into there with a big head thinking you're going to kill it and whatnot. Like, that's honestly impressive for young
Thank you. We
adults
appreciate it.
to be humble like that, especially with a touring company that is doing well. You know, you guys do have a presence. It's doing really well. So, I mean, is that just because you know that you'll get crushed, or was there something like, let's take a step back and realize that?
Oh yeah, well,
Yeah,
we'll
you got to
crush.
take
I mean,
you have to take a step back. Like I said, you have to be smart about it.
Yeah.
You need some sort of business background. You need to understand how money works, how you can market your skill in the area. You need to figure that out. What area calls for what, and you need to be smart about it.
I mean, I've seen people try to throw events like we have. They're like, oh yeah, it's easy money, it'll be fun. Like, we'll just throw it, and then like 500 people show up. Like, I've seen people throw it, and like less than 100 people show up, and they end up paying out of pocket to like pay for the show. I mean, it's not easy. It really isn't. Like, I don't know how much to stress that, because if it was easy, we'd be driving around Ferraris and visiting every city in the world. It's not like that at all. And people don't understand the amount of work that goes into it and the amount of business behind it. That's the biggest thing, the amount of business. People just think, you know, you announce a city, you pay an artist, and you go. There's so much more to it. No, we didn't do
So,
it.
what would you say if you could go back, right? You're sitting with junior high version of yourself, or even younger than that, and I don't know when you guys were starting to become entrepreneurs or whatnot, but go back to that age when you're just starting to get that entrepreneurial kick and you're starting to do your own thing and whatnot. We'll start with Jake. What's one thing you'd say to yourself back then?
Well, I don't know
This is
about
gonna be good.
what I would say to myself, but I just sort of saw what my parents were doing. And so my dad had his own business. He made his hours. He drove around. He did whatever he wanted. And that's what I wanted. You know what I mean? So,
Be your own boss.
Yeah, be your own boss, exactly. And so, I don't know. I would just say that you have to stay in school, regardless if you're ever going to use the degree or not you get in college. It's more about the education that you get, which I've been saying to Dante over here. It's all about the education. Whether you come out with a degree or not, you're smarter for it. And that's what I'm talking about when I say you have to be smart. You need to know business. You need to know how markets work. And so I would have said to myself, stay in school as much as I don't want to. Stay in school and just keep working hard.
Dante?
10 years ago, I probably would have said to myself, why didn't you get braces and why didn't you get a haircut sooner? Probably. I had this huge, massive fro on my head. That's probably why people made fun of me and my height. I don't know. No,
Grow. You would have
Yeah.
went back and you would have told yourself to grow.
yeah, seriously.
Drink some
Where's that
milk.
growth spurt? It's coming any day. I don't know, 10 years ago, like, my family, they also owned a dealership for 42 years for selling cars, so that's like another entrepreneurship right there. I mean, you're starting
Yeah,
a business. That's what it
exactly.
is. Kind of like Jake, you know, he just saw things around him that, like, led to entrepreneurship and business, and that's, like, I remember in elementary school, the principal, like, stopped me once because I was carrying around a small briefcase, and inside it was candy and soda, and I was selling it to people, and I was making money, and
That's
he's
good.
like, that's not allowed. And that was in elementary school. That was probably one of the farthest back memories I can actually remember, and just, like, stuff like that. Like, I would sell things to kids at school, and my principal was like, well, I didn't expect this out of, like, a second grader.
They just shut the operation down.
Yeah, so I think I always knew I wanted to do something like this. And, like, once again, like, being your own boss, like, making your own hours and stuff like that. I can't sit at a desk for 8 hours a day. I wouldn't be able to do it. I'd go crazy.
Yeah, no, me too. I completely agree. I mean, but you guys know, being an entrepreneur, working your own hours doesn't necessarily mean less hours.
Oh, no.
And
yeah.
people get that confused a lot.
Not at all.
It's not less hours; it's your own hours.
It's more so more.
It's-
like
yeah.
you're not working a
6
9
days
to
a week,
5.
usually. Sundays are usually off, but, like, Sundays I'll even be dealing with, like, emails or phone
Yeah.
calls.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's the biggest thing I think people forget is, you know, they think they got Fridays to go golf or whatnot, and sometimes you just don't.
Because, like, working at, like, a regular job, like, the business already has, like, all the business license filled out, everything, the paperwork, they say sign here, like, you train and work. We have to make those forms, we have to make the business, we have to make the contracts, we have to put everything in order. Like he was
Everything
just
else.
telling me, like, when I came over yesterday to Jake's house, he was like, yeah, I've been sitting here for 6 hours doing paperwork.
Yep.
I was like, that sounds terrible.
No, exactly. So, did we miss anything? I mean, we got the. You can plug yourself in after this, but is there anything else you guys want to say? I mean, did we miss anything? Or are we good?
I mean,
Follow your dreams.
You could say the sappy, like Dante just said, follow your dreams, but you just gotta be smart. You
And
just gotta be
people
smart.
are going to tell you no the entire time. They're going to tell you you can't
Oh,
do it
man. Cliche.
all the time. I'm
It's
serious.
true though. It's true
They'll
though.
Yeah.
like the amount of times people are like, "Oh, you're going nowhere. You're not
The
doing anything."
haters.
Yeah, the haters, man. I'm drinking lots of haterade.
I love them.
Yeah, don't listen to them. They're saying that for two reasons. They're jealous and they're scared that you're gonna do better than they are, and that's true because I've seen people that have said it to me, and I'm just waving down to them because we've surpassed them.
And that's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
because you guys took initiative to do something. You know, not only with this, but other things as well.
You have to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Definitely. Or you'll never accomplish what you want to do. You have to put
Not
yourself
like
out
Kim
there.
Kardashian out there. That's too
Yeah.
much.
That's a little tone it back a little bit.
Yeah,
Be
tone it back.
professional, but it's all about another thing. Business is all about people and relationships you establish. And if you want a good business, you have to be good to your clients, you have to be good to your customers, and you have to be good to the people in your industry around you. You know what I mean? You have to have good relationships with everyone if you want to have a successful business. So.
Awesome. Well, why don't you guys? What's the social medias for Electric Empire?
Instagram, Electric Empire Tour, at Electric Empire Tour. Twitter, someone took at Electric Empire Tour, so we're at Electric Empire T.
Okay.
Facebook, Electric Empire Tour, and you can reach our weekly podcast, my ticket sales and all updates on electricempiretour.com.
Okay. And what about personals?
You can follow my Instagram at jmorgan829.
Still using the numbers.
Yes, sir. And then, I can throw a shout out to my landscape business, Morgan Miley Landscapes.
Perfect.
Yeah. They'll trim you. And then Instagram at Dante Belmonte. I mean, everything's Dante Belmonte because it's easier.
Cool. All right, man. Both of you guys, I appreciate you for sitting down with me.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you for
man.
having us.
We
This
had
was
a great
awesome.
time.
This was great.
And anyone that's listening to this should definitely go check out their podcast. It's a little bit different. They're doing music instead of the talking and sitting down discussion, but still worth checking out. When does that launch?
We had our first week, the first day of the year, so we're doing every Sunday
Every Sunday.
for the rest of our career. So this is going to be fun.
Awesome.
The holiday, no matter what, we're going to be posting every Sunday night.
Very cool. All right. Thank you, guys. We did it.
Problem.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Perfect.